Hello and welcome to OpenTTD. Again. Again? Yes, again. But this time with mods. And a lot of them. Now, you might be wondering why I'm starting a new series of OpenTTD. And well, the answer to that question is quite simple. It really has to do with the previous series, the original one that I did with a rail on in it. Because, well, back then when I started that one, I really felt nostalgic and I wanted to play the original Transport Tycoon again. But that didn't run on my computer in this 64-bit era of bajillion core processors. So I stumbled upon OpenTTD on the interwebs and well, I still wanted to keep the experience as close as possible to the original. And wait, what? Did this plane just crash here? Ladies and gentlemen, we have a bugged background. Well, anyway, like I was saying, I wanted to keep the experience as close as possible to the original, and well, I think I did that pretty much in the original series. But whilst I was playing that, I did discover that there's a great deal of amazing mods out there for OpenTTD. So at the end of the original series, I kind of felt that I didn't really play OpenTTD properly. I didn't do the game justice to its full potential, so to say. So that is what I'll be doing in this series. And well, another thing is that last well, game, the one with the rail on, the original series, I wanted to build a high efficiency, high capacity train network. Wait, what? And now another one crashes? Very dangerous airport this is. I also don't think that I want to be living in one of these houses here. Anyway, like I was saying, I kind of, the last game was all about train networks and them being high efficient. This game will have a different focus. Not that we're not gonna build any trains. I mean, they are still like the main deal for this game, but I'm not gonna exclude other means of transportation. We'll try and set up, a transport company that uses every means available to transport both goods and people to and from, really. So, at least that's the aim for this game. Now, this is an introduction video, which I introduce you to me and the game, and the mods. I don't think that I'll be doing much in terms of gameplay, and some of you might not be interested in me babbling about the mods that I got. So if you want to skip this video, by all means go ahead and click this link, it will take you to the next one. But if you are interested in what kind of mods and settings and all that stuff that I got installed, stay a while and listen, as a famous NPC would say. So, well, the mods then. Before I go into that, if you're new to this and you don't know OpenTTD and the mods and all that, they come in two forms really. There's GRFs, which by now are actually incorporated into the game. You can just browse them in game via this menu and install them and all this nice and hunky-dory. There's also patches, and those are a little bit more problematic really. Because basically these GRFs, they are all like additions, new trains, new buildings, new stations, new ships, new trees or whatever really, but that's what the GRFs are. The patches, however, add new functions and functionality to the game. And like I said, they are a whole, they are applied completely different. What you have to do to apply those is download the patch, download the source code of OpenTTD, and well, I mean, it's open source, so anyone can do that. Then you have to apply the patch to the source code and then recompile OpenTTD, and then pray to the binary gods that the patches you applied are compatible with each other. And yeah. Well, let me just put it like this. I am no computer whiz kid. In fact, I'm a complete noob with it, you know, totally not skilled. I can do video editing, but not compiling binary program stuff. And well, I tried once just to compile the OpenTTD source code, and that didn't even work. So yeah, but the thing is that when I was selecting which mods and patches that I wanted, I ran into this issue really soon, and so I went looking for well, pre-compiled installations that had several patches installed in them. And the one that I like the most is this one, which is called the OpenTTD Hardpack, and it's compiled by a dude who goes by the name of Walter on the forums. And well, big thanks to him for compiling this and making it available to the public. Of course, I'll put links and all that in this video description. So yeah, that is the game that I will be playing, the OpenTTD Hardpack. Now it has a lot of patches installed in it, and I don't know all of them from the top of my head, so if you want to know which ones come with the Hardpack, I'd really suggest to go to the forum thread. So there, having said that, I also have a whole bunch of GRFs installed, and we'll take a look at those. Let's enlarge this a little bit. Like this. Look. This over here, this list of yellow names, is all the GRFs that we'll be using. Now there's a lot of them, and like these three are like train sets. These are aircrafts. These are vehicles, I think. Ships. More ships. Sailing ships. What a surprise with a GRF called sailing ships, right? This one has a real big impact on the game. Basically what it does, this fierce industry replacement set, it just enhances the whole supply and industry chains that you had with a much more complex and deep system, really. Whereas previously it was really simple, like coal went to the power plant and that's it, and iron ore went to the steel mill, which could send steel to a factory and done pretty much. This though has added so many more things where industries need several resources and also produce several things which can go to different industries again, and yeah, it's really complex, and if you wanna understand how it all works, you really should go to the wiki page, which has a very nice schematic of how it all works together. But yeah, it really enhances the gameplay a lot, and I really liked it. So we'll be having this one. For the rest though, one thing to note is these vacuum tube train set and the vacuum vehicle wagon. Those are like extra rail types. You know, when we have monorail and maglev, well, this comes like after maglev, really. So we can continue on with playing after we have had all the maglev developments. The rest really is just for the looks. I mean, Japanese buildings, modern waypoints, several station type things that I have installed here. Because that's a thing as well that these GRFs add. I mean, in the original, all the stations looked like this. A track with some concrete and benches around it and done. Whether it was for passengers or for freight, it didn't matter. All the stations looked the same. Well, not anymore now, because I have added several of these station mods, and now we can just zone drag a station and then add proper stationy buildings to it, like loading docks and cranes and warehouses, you know, for freight and all that, or people. So yeah, I've added a lot of those because I really like it. You know, it serves no function, but it makes the game look really cool. So yeah, well, I think that's pretty much it in terms of all the GRFs that we'll be using. Quite a lot, but I think that it will greatly enhance our game. So there we go. Now I'll also quickly go through the advanced settings that I'll be using here, and yeah, I won't go through all of them, but I'll just show you the settings that I got, so that if you want to play along or make it a similar game with the same settings, if you like what you see here, you can do so. I'll also highlight a few very important settings that I think are crucial to the game, but well, none of those really are in the interface section of the settings. So I'll just quickly, you know, just open all these up so you can see what settings I have. And if you want to copy it, just pause the video, but otherwise I'll be moving through it quickly. Yeah, that's those. News and messages. Yeah, it's really just, you know, cosmetic all this, but oh well. Right, so I think that if you pause the video a few times, you can by now have copied all of it, so we'll close it because it's not that important. By the way, if you're wondering, like, is this default? No, it's not. I have gone through all of these settings a couple of times so that, you know, it's all set up to my liking, and yeah, you know, took quite a while, but I now know that everything's set up right. Or at least I hope. I hope that it's not gonna haunt me, you know, and bite me in the back once we're playing and something turns out to be wrong. This one I do quickly want to you know, just make a mention over here that I've really shortened the maximum length of both the bridges and the tunnels so that the terrain actually forms an obstacle. I don't want to be able to just bridge across an ocean or tunnel through a complete mountain range. I mean, one hill, okay, a small lake, sure, but no ocean. I want the terrain to mean something, which it didn't in the original series. I mean, I could just, if I wanted to, I could just fill up an ocean and build their tracks on the same level. Over here, not so really. The Hardpack isn't called Hardpack because it's easy. No, it's hard, and one of the things the Hardpack does is it has increased the cost for terraforming. So yeah, the terrain means something, and with this lowered, it forces me to think of different solutions and like different means of transportation. So, for example, boats and airplanes become more viable. So yeah, just wanted to mention that really. Also, if you're wondering, like, if you're, you know, like, you have crazy amount of settings that I don't have, that's because of the Hardpack. It also adds loads of settings. So, well, over here, I don't think there's much interesting really. So, I'll just quickly open all these up. Oh, one interesting one is the freight multiplier for heavy trains, which does what its name implies. It simulates more heavy freight, so that we can't just make trains of 20 wagons with one locomotive like this one, unless it's crazy powerful. If I wanted a train like that long, or if I needed it, I'd have to place more locomotives on that train. For it to move at decent speeds. So another really neat one, by the way, is this ATC style speed adaptation. What this does is, remember in the original series that at certain points in the game I had different, various locomotives on the network with various speeds. And the faster one would always end up behind the slower locomotive. And then when it was about to crash into it, the first signal, it would just come to a complete standstill. Well, this ATC style speed adaptation is there to prevent that from happening. What it will do is it will adapt the speed of the faster train to the speed of the slower train in front of it. So it will just stay at a fixed distance between it, rather than come at a complete standstill at the next signal and cause a traffic jam by doing so. So yeah, pretty neat feature, quite like it. For the rest, I don't see anything particularly interesting. Oh, by the way, here are the bottom settings, so you can copy those if you want to. And we'll be moving on to the station section. Yeah, I don't think that there's anything interesting here, so there. There we go. Economy. This is of course very, very interesting. So I'll open it all up. Where is the setting? Yeah, here it is. This right here is a very, very big thing that it's turned on. It's explained over here, and basically the result of this is that, well, we pay a tax based on a company value, and the company value is made up by the value of everything that we own. So that means that rather than pay a tax over the profit that we make, we have to pay a tax based on the stuff that we have. And that means that we, for example, if we were to build a very long railroad track, that track needs to generate a minimum amount of profit with the trains on it. Otherwise, we won't be making money with it. We will be losing money in it, and it will be a bad investment. I find this really interesting because it will also prevent us from amassing mega quantities of cash early on. Of course, it's still doable, but it will take a lot more and more careful planning and thinking ahead than it was in the original series, where I think after 10 years I was a multi-bajillionaire, or maybe even richer, if that's possible. So yeah, this is really interesting, quite like it. The thing is though, this is taxed each month. It's not the 20% each month, but it is like subtracted from our cash each month. So that is a really big thing, and because of that I have changed another interesting thing that this Hardpack has added, and that is the day length factor. Because I've playtested quite a few games with different settings to find out what I like the most, but I found that this company tax makes the game really, really difficult if the day length factor was at default value of 5. Because what this does is that the higher this number is, the longer it takes for the in-game days to pass by. Only the in-game days, nothing else. The vehicles will still move at the same speed on screen, but it's just that the days pass by slower. So effectively what it's doing is it's making our vehicles relatively faster if you compare it to the in-game time it takes them to travel from A to B. And therefore it makes it a little bit easier, this whole company taxes thing. So it makes it a bit more manageable, and I quite like it. The downside is though that this will also mean that resources like coal, iron and all that are generated slower. It's not that by increasing this we will still get the same amount of resources. The resources are also based on days, so yeah, that does take a little bit, well, it goes a little bit slower. But that also means that we don't have to use mega long trains. We can just be satisfied with the somewhat shorter trains. So there. Those were two really important ones, real big ones that I feel made a huge impact on how the game feels and plays. So then there is this cargo distribution, a whole new thing. Well, actually it's not that new, but back when I started the original series that wasn't in there, and I had version 1.2.3, and I think somewhere during my play they actually added this into the source code, which by the way is called the trunk on the forums. I don't know why. I don't think the source code has anything to do with the tree or a back end of a car really, but well. Anyway, yeah, what this does is that say for example we have a station over here and we have like a few other stations somewhere else, all for passengers. Then the passengers on this station will have like a destination, rather than whichever train gets there first, picks up all the passengers, that's where they'll go. No, there's like, for example, if there's 50 passengers waiting, there could be 10 for station A, 20 for station B, another 5 for station C, and 15 for station D or something like that, you know. And then you'll see that that doesn't make 50. But you get the gist of it, and I quite like it, you know. It adds more complexity to it, so pretty good. Then competitors, and here is a little bit of an issue in that we won't be playing with competitors for 2 reasons. One, I don't like competitors, but I did consider enabling them, and I actually tried it as well, because, you know, I want to play the game right now to its full potential. Add as many bells and whistles as I can, and that includes competitors. However, during my playtest, I mean, this is the Hardpack, and it's also hard for competitors, and it turned out that it was too hard for the AI to handle. So yeah, pretty much the AI just went bankrupt like after a couple of years, and they can't handle the difficulty settings. So even if I wanted to play with competitors, I still wouldn't be able to because of the hard settings. Well, maybe there is an AI that can handle it, but I haven't found one, and I think I tried like 4 or 5 ones, so yeah. Not gonna happen, competitors, and I'm not really all that bothered by us not having competitors. So, well, those are the settings and the mods that we'll be playing with. You might think that we're going to be playing on a different terrain type. You'd be wrong. We'll be playing again on the, what is it, European climate. I think that the official name for it is temperate climate. Why? Because in this climate I at least know for sure that all the GRFs and all that work. And I'm not entirely sure on any of the other climate types. So there we go. Now then, I think it's time for us to generate the new map. So let's go ahead and do that. One thing that this Hardpack has also added is the support for increased map sizes. Look at this. We can go as far as 1 million big map size even. 1 million. That's crazy. And we could then also go like this. The thing is though, I mean, when I first started this Hardpack and I saw the increased numbers here, of course I went ahead and tried to generate this map. Nope, not gonna happen. The game doesn't like it. In fact, these red numbers means that it, you know, it can't handle it really. I don't know how it calculates it, but this is pretty much the maximum where the figures are still black, and I tried generating this as well, but during the generation the game hangs itself at like 70%, and that is after a good hour or so of generating things like industries and whatever. Now the original series was on a 2000 by 2000 map, and that was huge. We only managed to cover like half of the map with only rail tracks. Well, we are gonna be playing on a map that is 4 times as big. I tried it, and this is the biggest the game will generate, and also will run reasonably well without too much lag. If you are in the map view, it might be a little bit laggy, but the increased size, man, 4000 by 4000. Amazing. Now, another thing that you'll see is that we will be starting quite early. 1st of January 1850. That is really early on. But yeah, I want to, this game that we're going to be playing, this new series, will be a really long one. We'll be starting out in the early days, pioneering with horses and sailing ships, all the way up till the future of transport in vacuum tube trains and what have you. So yeah, it will be quite the journey, and that's why we start at 1850. I would have loved to start even earlier, but there are no trains available before this time, I think. So that's why we start at 1850. Trust me, this is the right moment. Now, one thing, if you generate a map yourself, I would really recommend going with a high number of industries if you use fierce. Because if you don't, you'll find that the industries are too far away really, and too few, too sporadic to really set up a proper network for transporting goods. You can still do the odd one, but an all-covering network becomes like next to impossible. So there you have it. Yeah, these are pretty much settings. So I can't wait for it. Let's randomize the seed and let's generate the map. And yeah, this will probably take a while. But luckily for you, the viewer, there is the magic of video editing. So we'll speed this up a little bit. And here we are. Look at this. Look at the difference in how the game looks. And look at the different industries that you see. Dairy farms, sheep farms, oil wells. Well, they're no different, but just the look of the game. Look at it, all the trees and everything looks so much different. And if we can find a village, like over here, look, a builder's yard, new industries, but also take a look at this, new road types. The housing looks different and very, well, Japan-like, if you ask me. But then again, that's no real surprise with the GRFs that we got. So, here we are. Now, I think that, well, you know, this will be our map, and we will be doing one thing in it before calling this a video, and that is setting up our company. So, let's see here. I think it was over here. Yeah. Now, right now we are unnamed company 1 and we got a male looking chick as a chairman or a manager actually. Not gonna stay long like this. No. First of all, we're gonna change the company name. Now I've thought long and hard about this. And well, you know, at first I tried something like Damage Hot Logistics. You know, I thought it was pretty cool. Would have been like DHL as an abbreviation, but no. Unfortunately, that one's taken. I thought of Damage Parcel Delivery, you know, DPD. But again, that's also taken. Balls. Then maybe, you know, I was thinking like maybe Freight Entrepreneur Damage Expedition. But no, I mean that would have been FedEx, and no, that's also not gonna be the one. Or I've even went as far as, you know, thinking that maybe Connection would be a nice one, you know, hooking things up together. But also taken. So, in the end, you know, the name for our company will be SpeedyNet. Yeah, I know. It sounds like some kind of internet connection speed test website, but then again, I'm not the best at, well, thinking of company names. I mean, Rail On was like some kind of text message service that you could turn on or off. So yeah, it's gotta be SpeedyNet, because in the end, speed is all that matters in this game. So there it is, SpeedyNet, the well, soon to be famous company. At least I hope, of course. Now, the manager name will, of course, be me. However, the thing is that last time we went with Mr. Damage. Well, we are gonna go with Mr. D McDamage, because I can't just have the same, you know, Mr. B the manager or chairman or whatever the title will be that we acquire. No, it needs to be someone different. So, this is gonna be Mr. D McDamage. And of course, he is like, because we start earlier, this is like the ancestor of the Mr. Damage in the original series. So, we're doing a bit of a flashback here in time. You know, back to the future, or forward to the history, or whatever. So yeah, anyway, we got that. Now, of course, Mr. D McDamage does need a bit of a change. So yeah, let's change the new face here. And we'll go with male, European, because that's what I am. Well, currently I do have a beard, so we'll stick with a mustache. We won't go with eyeglasses, so no. I'm not bald, so though my haircut isn't really in there. Is that like, well, I'm looking for my own hair color really, but I don't think it's not like brown or white. Which is a bit of a shame, really. Perhaps I should have added a GRF that adds more options over here. I know there are more options, but yeah. This is the haircut that we'll take, you know. It's the youngest one looking. All the other ones look like 50 plus haircuts. So, eyebrows then. Ooh, you look sharp like this. I like it. Eye color. Let's see. There's not that many really to choose from. We'll go with blue. And we can change the mustache. Can we also have like a no? Right. Well, I mean this looks a bit like some Stalin mustache, but we'll go with it. Oh man, no, I'm not really liking it. I like this one much better really. It looks more like my own mustache, so. Now, ooh. Hello, I am Square Jaw McDamage. Yeah, let's take a look at the other chins here. And I've eaten too much buffet. You're the Howdy Cowboy chin. This is the regular chin really. We'll go with the regular. I think this looks the best. Now for the jacket, of course, you know, his son, because this is the father of Mr. Damage, you know, Mr. D McDamage. By the way, if that's so, then apparently his son changed his surname or his name or whatever really. Right, if I would, oh man, what is it, surname? I don't know really. I know that, you know, in my own language, if I would translate it directly, it would be the behind name. But you get the gist of it. He would have changed it from McDamage to just Damage. There might be some family troubles here, you know. Anyway, that's something for Dr. Phil to sort out. What I was about to say before I got sidetracked here is that the taste of Damage was impeccable with a blue jacket, a white collar, and a red tie. Perfect color combination over here. So, here it is, Mr. D McDamage. I quite like it. It looks a lot better than the male-looking female that was there by default. So, now we need to take a color, and we're not gonna go with blue. No. We could go with orange, really. Yeah, I quite like that. It's kind of like the national colors as well that we have. And then we'll go with red for a secondary color. I don't really know what that... Oh my goodness. Really? Oh my goodness. This means that I have to change everything? Well, okay. I will do... Ooh, we could even... Oh, that's nice. Right, I'll change these off screen and, you know, in the next video this will all be finished. But for now, we have set up our company and, well, in the previous series I placed my HQ. But this is not the previous series, so we will place the HQ in the next video. Which, by the way, means that we're at an end for this one. So, yeah, would say join me next time when we play more OpenTTD with mods.